Hello everyone, my name is Natalie and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing the Myers-Briggs Book Tag. This tag was created by Jaded Reader. I was not tagged to do this, but I saw her video and Rachel Marie Book Junkie's video, and I thought it was not only just a really fun tag, but I really admired her for making it. There's so many different types and personalities can be complex, so I thought the way she arranged the tag and the questions she asked made it a lot more manageable to approach a Myers-Briggs tag while also making it really personal. If you don't know about this tag, each question corresponds to a letter in your Myers-Briggs type. For reference, I'm an INFJ. I have all the tag questions in my handy little notebook here, so let's get started. Question number 1 is I for introvert. You can be outgoing but need to recharge with some calming solitude. Where is your favorite place to read and unwind? Why is this little oasis where you choose to go? Currently at college, my favorite place to read and relax is my bed, with a cozy blanket and usually some tea as well. It's my room, so of course it's this really familiar and personal place, and it's also really comfy. It also helps that my roommate is on a very different schedule than me, so she's not usually there when I am, and that means I have plenty of time to myself. When I'm at home, I usually like to spend time in the front room. There's a couch, there's blankets, there's this nice big window that lets in a lot of natural light, and there's a view of the backyard garden, and it's just this really peaceful place. My family actually refers to this room as my hobbit hole. Question number 2 is in for intuition. Some books are meant to be understood and others are meant to be explored. What book or character stands for an idea that's deeply meaningful for you? A book that is really meaningful to me is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. There's these 2 big themes in it that really resonate with me. The first is that this really great friendship develops between 2 people who are supposedly very different, but they realize underneath that they're not that different. And the lovely thing about it is this friendship is developed through reading. And that brings me to the second idea in The Book Thief that is really meaningful to me, and that is the power of language. Communication is an integral part of our daily life, but we don't always give it much thought. Words are probably one of the most powerful tools that we have as humans, and we see a lot of examples of that in The Book Thief. And it's really interesting how both the protagonist and also the main antagonist, Hitler, uses the power of rhetoric. Hitler was known for his grand speeches, and he would actually practice his gestures and facial expressions and every possible nuance to his speeches for hours to perfect it, because he understood what a well-written and well-presented speech could do for a cause and for morale. But then you have that juxtaposed with Liesel and Max's friendship. Their friendship shows that language connects people, but more importantly, connects them in love. And The Book Thief ultimately shows the beauty and power of language and what good things it is capable of. On to question number 3, which is F for feeling. Not everything needs to be realistic. Where's the fun in a world with limits? Which fantasy world do you find so atmospheric you slip inside and never want to leave? Put simply, a book with good vibes. A fantasy world that I find so atmospheric and enjoyable that I would never want to leave it is From the Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is a bit of a historical fiction book. It's set in a very real period of time, but it is also magical realism, and that magic is a very integral hard, especially when it comes to the circus itself. And I would want to live in the circus. There's all these tents and attractions and the food. The world of a circus is also ever expanding. New tents are always being added. The existing tents are added onto. Whenever you go to the circus, there's always something that you haven't seen yet. So how can you leave the circus if there are endless possibilities to your experiences there? Also, I just really love hot chocolate and caramel corn. Question number 4 is J for judging. All play and no work leads to chaotic disorder and anarchy. How do you structure and balance your reading, booktube, and personal life to better use your time? I'm still kind of in the process of figuring that out, especially since I am newer to booktube. When it comes to my reading life, I try to have a book with me at all times. So if I ever do have even a little bit of time to read, like in between classes or at lunch, I have that opportunity. I can do that. I sometimes use reading as a bit of a break from homework, or else I will read before bed. Basically, I give myself plenty of opportunities to read, and having that book with me at all times is like a reminder to choose to read. For booktube, I've just had to find a time that works with my school and work schedule. Normally, I will film on Tuesdays right after work. Occasionally, it will be over the weekends or a Monday, depending on what I know my homework load will look like for that week. And that way I give myself plenty of time to edit. I also have a bullet journal. I use it to keep track of my filming and uploading schedule. I put some of my video ideas in there. I also keep track of my reading and my monthly goals in there, and if I happen to do some kind of Instagram photo challenge, I'll have that in there as well. For school and my personal life, I have an academic planner to keep track of events and work and when things are due. I also try to start on homework and get as much of it done as soon as possible. I like to get that out of the way so I don't have to stress about it if it gets close to a deadline, and to try and create some time for me to read. Basically, when it comes to balancing my life, it's a lot of calendars and planning and prioritizing and hoping I can keep track of it all. Okay, we have reached our last question. INFJ, the counselor. Yes, we're a bit odd, but we're also filled with intuition and empathy. What is a book you would recommend to a friend having a hard time? You can have a friend in mind if that helps. I would recommend something that I would personally go to during a hard time. For me, that is childhood favorites. I have 2 kind of go-to reads for that. And the first one is Matilda by Roald Dahl. Other one is Cornelia and the Audacious Escapades of the Somerset Sisters by Leslie M.M. Bloom. I don't have it right now. It's currently at home because it's like a family copy. And you can tell from just looking at it, it's been through a lot of hard times. I recommend these 2 books because they're not only childhood favorites, but they're still my favorites today. They're really lighthearted and warming, and not to mention they're books about books and reading and storytelling. I find it's really helpful to read something uplifting and encouraging during these hard times, and also going back to things I love, which would be reading. That is the end of the Myers-Briggs Book Tag. Feel free to join in and do the tag, and comment down below what you think of personality typing and what your personality type is. If you don't know your type or anything about Myers-Briggs and personality typing, then I am including a link to a test. I've taken multiple tests multiple times just because I'm that type of person that wants to know for sure. But there's one that I like the best and recommend the most, and that is from 16personalities.com. Not only is it free, but it also provides you with tons of information, and you don't have to make an account to get your results or have access to that information. I also think it's a little more accurate personality types can be very complex, and really they're more on a spectrum. No one is 100% introverted or sensing or whatever. It's more like percentages. 16 personalities takes this complexity and individuality into consideration. You answer each question on a scale of how true the given statement is for you. And so I really like that aspect. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more tags and fun videos. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep reading, and I will see you next time here on the Mighty Quill.